Hey friends, and welcome to another event vlog, but this time we will be heading to South by Southwest Sydney.
Do you guys want to come with me to get my South by Southwest pass?
Unfortunately, during the event I was working full time, so I did miss out a lot of time during the day, but I did try my best to get to as many things in the afternoons as I could and take as much content as possible. On day one, it was just me adventuring into the city to go and get my South by Southwest Sydney Platinum badge. And so I had to stroll around Darling Harbour until I found the place to pick them up, which turned out to be the ICC building up the top. Although, as you probably guessed, I did get a little lost along the way.
I'm lost.
I was also very excited to be considered a creator for this event, so this is me basically recording every single South by Southwest Sydney sign that I could come across. But yeah, I found the place I needed to go, I picked up my pass, and I was able to head down towards Tumbalong Park for a quick little glance at everything that was set up there. I didn't stay for too long, but I was excited to see what the rest of the week held for me.
Got my badge and now I'm going home.
Day 2 of South by Southwest Sydney was the official games start of the event, so it was the official opening night party that night. After work, I made the trip into the city, and of course it started raining as soon as I walked outside, but this time we were heading towards Fortress for the opening night. When we got there, Fortress was quite packed, so I jumped in line, but luckily I did see a few friends and Tom Cardy, who I was very excited to possibly meet throughout the event, and jumped in line with Alex and Natalisi. We did have to wait a little bit, but that was okay because I was waiting on Alk to arrive anyway, but the line soon started moving. Upon entrance, we did get a free drink token, although our platinum badges got us free drinks anyway. As a platinum badge holder, we did get access upstairs to the 2315 bar, and like I said, with the free drinks, we got some Suntory 196 or any house beer, lager, or wine that was there. Soon they started bringing around the food, and I was very hungry because I hadn't properly eaten that day, but then performances also started, which was super exciting too. I did run out to get a couple of videos, but we did mainly stick inside the 2315 bar because we could eat the food and also see the performances on the big screen. Throughout the rest of the night, more South by Southwest creators started showing up, so we got to hang out with Teague, Ashenix, Buzz, and more. After finishing up at Fortress for the night, we were a little bit tipsy and hungry, so we went down the street to get some more food. Day 3 of South by Southwest Sydney included some exploring and then later the Lenovo Legion ship. I also got to go into Tumbalong Park area with work, so that was a little bit surprising. Although I had seen some of it before, this was the group just heading into Tumbalong Park to have a quick look around before we actually went into the Upfronts, which is an event for business people, basically. After work finished for the day, I then ventured into Darling Harbour again, but this time by myself. Alk was gonna meet me there, and I ended up stumbling into some friends along the way, which we then went on a little hunt for food because all of us were hungry, and we had a little bit of time to kill before the Lenovo event started. We got access to the Combank area, which was really cool, and it had free food and free drinks for platinum and industry badge holders, so that included us. Once more friends and Alk arrived, we headed down towards the harbour where our ship was waiting for us. Now, the Lenovo Legion Go team had hosted a little party on this ship. It was all pirate themed and they had lots of things set up, including sea shanties.
Hold on tight, stay close to me, have no fear of the night. It was bigger than the sky. We held down the bus and we had the captain run.
They also had plenty of drinks and things, and it was just nice to have an evening out on the harbour. Apparently a lot of the crew that was working on board also actually lived on board, so it was nice to be guests to their house. We could also go downstairs to check out the Lenovo Legion Go ourselves. Here's me waving at Ash and Buzz that were down there. And of course, the game of choice for the evening was Sea of Thieves. Now they also had a lot of food on board as well, mostly seafood to set the mood too, and it was very delicious. Throughout the evening we were joined by even more friends, and it was just a lovely night altogether.
I found a teal. I made it.
When it got a little bit darker, we were all able to head downstairs into the cabins, and I finally got to try out the Lenovo Legion Go myself, alongside Teal of course. And honestly, as a handheld device, I actually think it was pretty cool. It ran quite smoothly, it actually played Sea of Thieves better than my computer back home does, and I just thought it was really impressive. After that, we settled into a corner for dessert and just some coziness. They did have to kick us off at a certain time, but I did steal a pirate's hook before we left. And then we went to the bridge to see if we could catch it on its way out. This was Alk telling Teal how the bridge actually moves to let the boats out. It doesn't lift like a lot of other bridges does, it actually swivels sideways instead. While we're on the bridge, we also found a hidden geocache, which was really cool, so Lucy logged that, and then we decided to head back and take Teal to her hotel before we caught an Uber home. Day 4 of South by Southwest Sydney included the Indie Game Showcase. Now this was a big part of the event for us as well, because Alk didn't get a platinum badge like I did and like Teal did, but he got a games industry badge, and that's because he was helping to host the demo of a game that he had previously worked on with some friends. We wanted to go check out the Indie Game Showcase anyway, so it was really cool to get there a little bit earlier and check out what other games were around, but I had to help set up because Alk was running a little bit late. It is quite commonly known around the community, but for anyone that didn't know, the game that he worked on or helped with in the past is Cardamon Hyper Auto Battlers. When I got there, the game itself wasn't actually set up, so I did need to set it up myself and was a little overwhelmed because I had no idea what I was doing. But it was okay because Alk got there not too long after me, so I was able to go around and check out the other games. Some of the games that I had my eye on included Gubbins, Macabre, Doggy Don't Care, Iluri, Winnie's Hole, Copycat, and Crab God. Out of all the games that I got to look at, I only got to play Winnie's Hole, which was very cursed but actually a lot of fun. I did manage to get a lot of business cards and stickers and things though, so I'm definitely going to check out the games in the future when I can. As you know, for these kinds of events, my priority always lies with the food, so I went to track it down when I had a spare moment, and of course it was free with the platinum badge. So I got at least 3 plates to myself and then some wine. Alk and Teal joined me shortly after and we all ate some food together and then enjoyed the view of Central Station. Because Cardamon wasn't showing again for the rest of the event, we got to take home the little poster thing, so that now lives in our house. After the showcase, we didn't really want the night to end, so we headed towards Fortress to play some arcade games and met some other friends like John Ong, Fizzy, and Kitty there too. Day 5 and the week is getting along, and I apparently like taking outfit videos in the work bathroom. Can you guys tell that I was bored and just waiting for the workday to end so I can get to South by Southwest? Now this day I was supposed to go with Teal to a Riot event after work, however we were running a little bit late and Alk forgot his pass, so I had to run quickly to the merch stand and then back to the ICC to pick up a replacement badge for him. It was the night of the Game Awards, so we headed to Fortress, got this video with the Dumb Ways to Die friends along the way up, and then went inside.
First thing I did when I walked in the door was say hi to Tom Cardy, except I freaked out and didn't get a photo, so I have to approach him later. At least that's a good conversation starter. Hi, I saw you before. I'm awkward. Thank you.
Of course, I was just a nervous bean when it comes to those types of things, but we jumped in line and then we were able to go back up to bar 2315 in our secluded platinum area with some drinks and some foods to settle in before the Game Awards started. Slowly but surely, the rest of the South by Southwest Sydney fam started arriving and joined us in our little booth. Then the performance started, which included the voice actors from Stray Gods and a few others. We were lucky that we got there a little bit earlier because it soon got very packed, just in time for the awards.
And the winner for the first ever South by Southwest Sydney Game of the Year award goes to Dredge.
After the Game Awards, they did have a little after party which included some karaoke and some crowd interaction, but we went to the arcade instead. Yes, throughout the night I did get to meet Tom Cardy even though I was a mess, so thank you Tom for being nice and taking a photo with us. Day 6 was our first full day of South by Southwest Sydney, so Teal and I caught the bus in the morning while Alk had a little bit of sleep in, and we went to the games industry breakfast at the Mercure. They also had some little game things set up in the hall, so we got to check them out before we had breakfast, and then we got our coffee and of course ran into some awesome friends while we were there. They also had a level up dice booth there, and I considered buying some dice but I didn't, and instead we headed down towards Tumbalong Park because we wanted to visit Primeville. Along the way, we found the Milk Lab stand. Now, Milk Lab had been giving out free coffee to anyone with the South by Southwest admission throughout the week. So even though I just had a coffee, Teal and I picked up some oat lattes and then continued on our journey. We had a whole bunch of things to do, starting with Primeville. Primeville had been there all week and was open to everyone, including the general public, but now was the only time that we had to go inside. So basically the gist of it is it had different setups from different shows and films that are on Amazon Prime, and you could do different activities to receive the Prime dollars in exchange for food, drinks, ice cream, and all other things throughout Primeville. I got some caramel gelato and a lime slushie, and then we made our way through, stopping by Superhero University along the way. My superpower is burnout, and went into a room that made me feel much smaller than I already am. If you participated in all 3 activities, you got 3 spins of the wheel at the very end, so you could choose a prize out of the 3 things that you've been to. My first try, I got a sticker sheet, second was a t-shirt, and third, I got an Echo Pop, so that was my prize that I decided to take home. It was actually kind of funny because Teal won one too. At the end of Primeville, they had the Wiggles Big Red Car and had a previous visit from the Wiggles earlier in the week, but of course we missed out, but I did get some photos with the Big Red Car anyway. Then we were off to the HP Blue Box. I've passed this quite a few times throughout the week, but basically it was a big box with lots of things written on the wall promoting their new laptops and tablets. We were told to write something that we were proud of throughout the year, and I wrote that I was excited to be a creator for South by Southwest Sydney. Then Teal and I went up to the Tech and Innovation Expo. We were lucky because this was actually the last day that it was being hosted at South by Southwest, so we were able to have a quick look inside. There were so many different companies in there, including Monster Energy, giving out free monsters, so I grabbed a couple. We also had a chance at the claw machine to see if we could win some chickens. There was a booth there to teach you how to use Canva and a massive tree of life in the center of the expo. The army even was there with a massive tank that you could climb inside and a robot dog. Qantas was there with a VR flight simulator. There was a couple of cool lounges where you could sit down. There was electric scooter prototypes, a computer that looked like a shoe, an Intel-sponsored flying car, I was a little bit overwhelmed, but there were so many cool tech things around, including this AI truth machine. With the truth machine, you answer a bunch of questions and it deems whether you are worthy to receive some plant seeds. I wasn't worthy, so we met up with Alk and went to the giveaways instead.
For tonight, as well at the IEM. I know you guys love the flags. I love the flags too.
Unfortunately, we didn't win anything in the Intel giveaways, but with our Platinum passes, we did get general admissions into IEM. Intel Extreme Masters is a massive esports event, and it is the first proper esports event that I have been to. So I was so impressed by the production value of the esports event, the massive crowd that was absolutely crazy when their favorite teams came on. Although I haven't played Counter-Strike myself, I was very immersed in the game. And it was a really good time. We didn't stay for too long because we had much more to do, so we went down to Tumbalong Park and to the Suntory 196 vending machine, which I had gone past but hadn't had the chance to go inside yet. The vending machine had massive hydraulic cans hanging from the roof, as well as lemon-scented air being pushed out of the vents, and the aircon was really nice inside on a warm day. You could even get drinks from the bars too. After that quick visit, we were on our way to go look for food, so we headed up to Spice Alley, up near Fortress. I think that this was the first time that Alk and I visited Spice Alley, and we took Teal with us. We got some Japanese food, I got a bento, and it was very filling and delicious. 10 out of 10 would recommend. We then went to Fortress for some sea shanties.
Sometimes we're down for Liverpool, sometimes we're down for Spain. Team away, the jolly team away. Now we're down for all six months, where all the girls are dancing. Team away, the jolly boys, we're all down the way. Stock up here, stock up there. This ship's stocked up everywhere. It's the stupidest sailor without a care, stuck in the Suez Canal.
I don't know if you can tell, but I am a huge fan of sea shanties. After that, we went into the arena where they were having the queer indie showcase. We were even invited to go downstairs and onto the stage to check out the games themselves. So here's Alk playing one of the games. And then they finished up with a drag show. Now, I haven't seen a drag show before, but these ladies were phenomenal. Then we finished up the night by picking up our normal gang and heading on home. Day 7, or the last day of South by Southwest Sydney, included us heading over to the Spiderman 2 save that was at Barangaroo. I think it was the last day that we could have seen it as well, so I'm glad we had a free morning that we could go check it out. I also brought my IRL friend Mads along with us, and we caught their friend who was a cosplayer at the site too. We then had to head back in towards Darling Harbour, but we stopped in for some coffee and donuts along the way. I also had to go to the pharmacy, so we went into Market City and took Teal through Paddy's Market since she hadn't been before heading to Darling Square to meet up with some friends for brunch. We wanted to say one last goodbye to the South by Southwest Sydney fam before we went on our separate way and got some Japanese food for brunch. It was very delicious. And since it was Matt's first time experiencing anything to do with the event, we took them down along Tumbalong Park so they could check out the vending machine and everything else around the area. We also knew that Mads was a big fan of tabletop games, more so Magic the Gathering, so we headed back to the Mercure to go check out all the tabletop games that were showcasing throughout the event. We got to sit down and try out a couple and then also did some window shopping. I didn't have enough money, so I didn't buy anything personally, but I know Mads picked up a few things. Then we went into the room next door and we were very excited to give Magic the Gathering a try. Alk had the chance to play it during PAX, but Teal and I were very new to it and Mads had played previously as well. I could tell you that I was very excited yet had no idea what I was doing, but I managed to annihilate everyone. We could only play one game because unfortunately we had to take Teal to the airport, so bye-bye Teal. We were actually so sad when she left. But we tried to cheer ourselves up by going to Sushi Train instead. It was very tasty and Mads was very amused by the train. And after all the walking that we did, Alk demolished quite a few plates of food to himself. The South by Southwest Sydney after party was supposed to be hosted at Fortress afterwards, but I'm not sure what happened. It did seem to get cancelled, but we were still able to watch the IEM Grand Finals there anyway. And that was basically it for the whole week. We chilled out for the rest of the night, got some lukuma this, and then went home. Huge thank you to South by Southwest Sydney for including me this year, and I hope you guys all enjoyed this vlog.